All right, and we're back for another episode of the Sports Department Podcast with Justin Valentovic, Stephen Bologna, Jesse Norman, and Stephen Clark. And the week 2 of the NFL season is in the books. I'm back from my voyage to Indianapolis. Didn't go too well, as we'll get into. But all in all, pretty good week of football, other than that one game out there. So we'll get all into that, as well as talk about our picks and the standings. So, guys, what's going on?
Justin Val, baby. What's up? How was, pretty good trip for you? I heard you had some exotic eats while you were out there.
Yeah, everything but the game was the best part of the trip, basically.
Yeah, you had some once-in-a-lifetime food out there.
Yeah, Buffalo Wild Wings out in Indianapolis, very good. And the Yard House, 2 chains we have out here in good old New Jersey. But all in all, Lucas Oil Stadium, a dome with air condition is a luxury every football stadium should have, if we're being quite honest. Great stadium. Everything there for an event is within 15 minutes of walking distance for each other. So good city. All in all, good trip. But terrible outcome of game. Carson's hurt, sprained both ankles. That's something only I could do, I thought, in a dodgeball game, but he managed to go do it on a football field. So that's that.
It was a good week of football. It was
fantastic.
A good week, a lot of good games. Sunday night, in my opinion, the best, but it was a little like a cherry on top.
Thursday. But before we get into all those games, let's update some picks real quick. A lot better week for basically all of us. For the most part, we all hit our locks. So with that, I had 14 points this week. Jesse had 16. Clark had 15. And Bologna came in last at 13. So for once, I wasn't dead last. But on the season standings, I'm still in dead last at 15 points after my 1 point performance week 1. And then Clark is still in third. Bologna is in second with 27 and with 24, and Jesse is in first with 27.
Jesse just wins everything.
Unfortunately.
What can I say?
I'm still in medal contention. I'm okay.
Yeah, you're in third. You're in second. You're only down 3. Clark is down 6.
This will be much
12.
easier than the wrestling one. The wrestling one is done. I won the wrestling one.
Hey, not yet. Not yet.
Yeah, I'm still in
dead last.
So what
put
the
in that bye week.
So let's just get into week 2 and let's start at the beginning. And that is with Thursday Night Football way back when. And Washington, with new quarterback at the helm for this week, at least Taylor Heineke, staved off the Giants a little bit. 30-29, they walked away with a win.
I mean, let's be honest, right? I mean, Washington played like shit. I'm just going to be completely frank. Didn't deserve to win the game, but at the end of the day, they do get the win. Heineke, I like him. I think he's got the tools to hopefully lead the team to the playoffs. Maybe if he plays well enough, can get himself a starting job next year. But no, it scares me how bad this defense has been playing. I mean, Daniel Jones carved him up. He does it every time, but this defense is supposed to be. You need to stop. As a fan, you could sit back, take a breath because they're going to get that stop. But they just have not been able to do that, especially in week 1 against the Chargers and followed it up week 2. The Giants, they shot themselves in the foot. I love the Giant fans that are like, it's so fake. After video review, he really wasn't offsides. It's like, how about your team doesn't give up 60 yards in a minute to a team with no timeouts to put them in field goal range? How about that?
You also forgot that there's a backup quarterback.
Or don't drop a wide open pass in the end zone too.
Yeah.
So my notes on Heineke, clearly he won't be, your next great quarterback. We don't know. He very well could be, but at least you have your equivalent to the Eagles with Nick Foles, where once you get a guy who you think is your quarterback.
Eagles won a championship.
But what I'm saying is you at least know you'll have a good backup where if your main person ever goes down, you're in good hands and you can win games. I think this season they can play still 500 football with him at the helm.
I'm going to be completely honest. I think we missed the playoffs. We do not win the division. I'm looking at 6 wins. I think watching this team, I know it's early. I don't want to get too into it, but I just don't see the same kind of thing. It's the same year, same quarterback position. I truthfully believe we are going to be in a situation like the 49ers, great young defense, and they needed a few more playmakers. Now, as we remember in 2019, their whole team goes down, they get 3rd overall pick, and then they make the Super Bowl the next year. I think Washington's in a somewhat similar situation with that they are just a quarterback away. So I hope they find him next year. I do.
Yeah, this game was good. It was a fun little game to watch, but no offense to the football team here, but the Washington football team didn't win this game.
They got lucky.
The Giants lost this game. The Giants just lost it. They did not play well. Saquon Barkley has been MIA now for 2 weeks. Not looking too hot coming off the injury. I mentioned earlier the wide open pass in the end zone, literally in the hands of Slayton, I think. I think it was Slayton.
I think it was Slayton.
Yep, he dropped that bomb.
No, yeah, that. Then you got the penalty, which obviously if there wasn't the penalty, that kick was missed. Then you got a re-kick, and obviously it's made. Then it's just they shot, like Steve said, they shot themselves in the foot. The Giants did. They lost the game. Giants straight up lost the game.
But one note for the Giants. One note though for the Giants. Daniel Jones didn't play bad, and that's good for him. He needed the game.
Well, here's the thing: Daniel Jones always plays good against Washington, so I don't know how much we can take into account there. This is the first time he. Yeah, I mean, we still have to see kind of Daniel Jones's development. I don't think we can make any judgment. But far into week 2,
it's definitely something promising. At least he didn't turn the ball over. That's the big thing.
I mean, he looked fine, but that's a division game, and usually he does play good against Washington. My big takeaway, instead of Daniel Jones, Jason Garrett's got to get fired, man.
Really? I thought the play calling was actually a little bit better than usual. Like they're using.
You saw Galladay yelling at him. He was pissed.
The way they're using Saquon is, Clark alluded to it. Saquon doesn't look good. I don't think it's Saquon's fault. One, that line is terrible. But 2, they're giving him no situations where he has any space. He has no room to work with.
Well, that comes with the offensive line being piss poor and bad at blocking.
Yeah, but you can work around that. You can work around that. You can throw screens. You can do bubble screens. You can do RPOs. We're playing in the year of 2021. You do not need a good line to be good.
They were at least using enough of Daniel Jones's legs where they're going to the RPOs a little bit more with him keeping the ball.
I completely disagree. They didn't use it enough. They used 2 design run plays. 2. He was torching them. Daniel Jones looked like the best running back on the field, and they did 2 designed runs.
That's Lamar Jackson.
I think Jason Garrett's play calling has been so bad. Washington, I think Heineke's fine. I think it's really going to come down to that secondary, and more so than anything, Washington can't get anybody off the field, man. 3rd downs, they're just letting teams. I don't understand. I want to go back and see if maybe Ron Rivera is dropping into like a different scheme on 3rd down, because on 3rd down, it just seems like every single one, you get them in 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, and it's like, oh, yep, 1st down. It's like, these are tough 3rd downs. And this is supposed to be a really good defense. That's the down that you need to make it count.
Well, at the end of the day, though, they escaped with the win, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. So let's move into the Sunday slate of games, and we'll start with a brutal game for the AFC East, and that's the Buffalo Bills going out and absolutely wiping the floor with the Dolphins, beating them 35-0. Obviously, the big takeaway is Jacoby Brissett came into the game after Tua got hurt. Bruised ribs, nothing broken, nothing cartilage damage. So it's really mainly pain threshold he has to deal with. But if Brissett is going to be their quarterback for an extended period of time, that could very well tank their season, as I know from firsthand experience.
I mean, nice bounce back game for Buffalo here. They needed after the week 1 loss to the Steel Curtain. But this Dolphins, I mean, that's bad. They look terrible. I know they won week 1. And Tua played solid. Week 2 comes out and he gets. I thought it was his hip, like broken again at first. The way he was kind of moving and the way he was down, which I was kind of scared of. But even when Brissett came in, Brissett is looked at as an above-average backup, and he really wasn't able to do much. So a bit scary for this Miami team.
The thing with Brissett is, he's an above-average backup on a game-to-game basis. Long-term, he's not that great of a quarterback. Long-term, once teams actually game plan for him.
Well, God, the Bills didn't game plan for him. No, my big takeaway here, the Bills bounced back. The weird thing about the Dolphins, they look badly coached. Like, they don't even, like, Flores is supposed to be a really good coach. They're making a lot of mistakes. For lack of a better term, because their offensive line has been underperforming and their run game has been underperforming, this offense just doesn't have juice. They have absolutely no juice, and they have Jalen Waddle on their team. They don't take deep shots, it seems. Their run game, they pass on all three
it's
downs.
bad.
It's so bad, dude. Like I genuinely don't think you should be even running the ball when like the best case scenarios you get maybe a 7-yard gain. Like the line is so bad and they need to work around it. And I know Flores is a grit and grind guy, but your number one running back is Myles Gaskin and your line is playing like crap, dude. You can't grit and grind.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be a point of emphasis. They need to upgrade both quarterback and running back, probably in the offseason, which depending on legal troubles, this would be the time. Maybe they, cough up the extra picks for Watson.
Well, Watson's not going to play this year.
No, I know, but
so we'll see. I mean,
Justin knows. Close personal friend of Deshaun Watson. Clemson buddies right there. He knows.
No, but I'm just saying though, if this is what kind of seals the deal for Tua, maybe they do take that chance if the legal stuff gets sorted out or not.
Dude, if I'm a team and like Miami's just bailing on Tua, I would send a pick for Tua because
give it a shot.
Tua is definitively better. Steve, I think you'd agree here. Any quarterback in this upcoming class, this quarterback class is brutal. Garbaggio, for lack of a better word. Rattler is probably going to be the number one, and he has bust written
he's
all
wild
over him. Howell looks like a poor man's Kirk Cousins, and he's supposed to be the number two.
Who's the kid out of Nevada? I'm starting to see.
Creep up.
I think he's another year away, though. I'm pretty sure. I'm not positive, though. I mean, he might be able to come out. But
Keaton Slovis, maybe. Malik Willis. There's not really many.
The one from Ole Miss too. Like they're all prospects.
It's a far cry from your Trevor Lawrences, your Justin Fields, your Joe Burrows, your Mac Joneses.
If Miami's like ready to just move off of Tua, like I know the injury concern and it sucks, but you might as well send a flyer on him. If I'm Washington and they're moving on from Tua, I'd go grab Tua. If I'm Minnesota, I'd go grab Tua. I would if I'm Pittsburgh. Are you kidding me? Pittsburgh, I would. Oh my God, the things I would do for Tua tackle on my team.
Anything?
Oh God.
One thing worth noting, Jesse would find this interesting. 2020 first round pick for the Dolphins, Austin Jackson, allowed 9 QB pressures in this game, and the hit that sunk Tua into the ground. So he was incredibly overrated last year. He played above his head. The whole line did. There was this belief that, the Miami line's okay, so they don't have to draft a lineman. No, they weren't that good. Anybody who was anybody could see that line was going to regress. Yeah.
And the Dolphins clearly defensively also took a step back, which that was supposed to be their strong suit this season, and it fell apart a little bit. Now, obviously, with Tua going down, that could have taken some wind out of the sails, but definitely not a good showing for what you would think is the strongest part of the team. So let's shift gears that all of us got wrong, except Jesse, and that is the Andy Dalton revenge game. The Bears went out there and won 20-17, even though Andy Dalton didn't really have much to do with this game after he, like many of the quarterbacks this week, went out there and got hurt. And we saw Justin Fields go in there and ultimately, win the game a little bit. And basically, Matt Nagy had a press release come out by the PR staff of the Chicago Bears because he didn't want to face the media and actually say it. But basically, when Dalton is healthy, if it is at some point this season, he is still QB1. So they are hitching their wagon to Andy Dalton at all costs, it seems like. Even if Fields goes out there and plays really well, if they still make that switch, they should be fired off that decision alone.
Yep.
I'm going to say it. They looked better with Dalton out there this game. I'm not saying he's better than Fields. He's not. I'm not saying that whatsoever. This specific game, they played a lot better with Dalton.
That's like some
Fields
points last year.
Crap.
That's like some points last year where the Dolphins looked better with Fitzpatrick than Tua.
Yeah, I mean they looked a lot better with Dalton. I don't think any quarterback won this game. I think the Bears defense just
Burrow stunk it up.
Burrow was bad.
It was
Burrow
bad.
made
and that's coming from me. That's coming from us, Jesse. That's coming from most of us.
No, I mean the decision making. That was the problem. He was throwing it into double coverage. He was missing guys. He was seeing ghosts. And the stat line doesn't look as bad once you look at the fourth quarter. Before that fourth quarter, when the Bears pretty much gave up. Not good. Not good at all.
No, it was a rough week for like first year and second year quarterbacks. I feel like a lot of them did bad this week. It seems
because they
like
all still have terrible lines. Like there's like a
I
trend.
thought you just
like,
said you could win without having a good line. You could run.
Yeah,
you
you
do
also
well
need
without
a
good
good coach.
Damn, Justin, come on.
Yeah, Justin.
Fields 6 for 13, 60 yards in this game, and a pick, and he took a big hit.
Did take a big hit.
So I mean, again, like Jesse said, didn't play well, but this is the future, so might as well get him into the fire and used to it as quick as possible.
Well. I don't have much. I mean, Bears defense looked pretty cool. Roquan had a really good game.
Oh, he's so good.
If only they could get a consistent quarterback, the team could actually be good again, and also good coaching. So hopefully, the Bears figure their shit out soon.
I think the Bengals are just really like not
ways
as good
away.
I think they're just not as good as people thought when they beat Minnesota, and I think we're going to see that trending.
Yeah,
as in they don't have a defense.
The line's still bad.
It's not good.
The defense isn't great, but I honestly think the offense is more of the problem. They couldn't do anything this game. They couldn't get any run game,
and that's funny because they have more household names. You know,
110%.
Like other than Jesse Bates, can you name a defender on the Bengals defense?
They tried to say Carl Lawson, but he's gone.
Mike Hilton, right? Didn't they steal him from Steelers?
Hilton, yep.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like you can name, your Tyler Boyd's.
Isn't Trey Waynes there too?
Yes, he is.
Yeah,
but like you can name
might be hurt.
But like
Trey Hendrickson,
Chase, they have at least bigger names on offense for the Bears. And
Mixon's popular because what he did in college and because he punched that girl in the face. He's not actually a good. He's barely been good in the league. He had like one decent year, and everybody's like, "Oh, that's a
I know. I had him in fantasy last year. It fucked me, but I still
didn't
won.
Like Von Bell drift over there too.
Yes.
Oh, Von Bell's actually been pretty good. I'll give him that. Von Bell and Jesse Bates
in the middle of nowhere. In
Von Bell and Jesse Bates.
You only know that
because
of his superstar card in Madden.
They've actually been pretty good.
So let's shift gears to another game this week, and that is the Broncos beating the Jaguars 23-13. And Trevor Lawrence is going to get used to losing a whole hell of a lot more games. And Urban Meyer won't be long for this NFL world, if we're being honest. And good for Teddy and the Broncos because I like seeing them win.
I don't think there's anything really to say here. This was just a better team beating a worse team. The Broncos have veterans. The Jags are young. Wasn't it in? It was in Jacksonville, but that doesn't matter. This is a good team just beating a bad team. I don't think there's any.
Trevor Lawrence didn't look good either.
No, he did.
I don't think any young quarterbacks are going to look good against Denver's defense with Fangio. I really don't. I think he's up there with Belichick on just.
And I'm happy for Fangio because Teddy Bridgewater is single-handedly saving his job at this rate.
I love it.
I love for
Teddy
sure.
Succeed. I love it. Like you said, there's not much to talk about here. Trevor looked bad. I saw on social media they put out a post already saying just trust the process or whatever.
Yes.
Nonsense.
We're gonna work hard to turn it around.
It's
Urban's never lost 2 games.
Did you see Urban's already the most hated man in Jacksonville amongst like most coaches? Like there are reports that he's just being a complete total dick to everybody.
He's already linked to other coaching.
Did
you see in like after week 1 press conference they asked him, was like, so you can take the USC job?
Yeah.
I think I'm committed to Jacksonville or something.
USC would buy him out of his contract.
Which is a massive deal with the
Jaguars. Which is a massive deal. Or he would walk away from it. I mean, I think it's
just a health problem. Like every time you had to get out of the losing program.
There's so much stock going into the Urban to the college game because he doesn't look like he's going to be successful in the NFL.
No, he won't. He's not used to be.
Because his name successful in college. Like, well, I mean, USC
much like college, you can pay the best players to come play for him, but I don't think the Cons are going to do that right away. They're going to want to try to build it seemingly through the draft. It seems, but I don't think that's exactly.
I think
build it from the ground up, baby.
This team is just years. I don't want to say years because when you have
Lawrence, 3 years, they're at least 3 years out. Which that might kill
when you have a generational quarterback, you can turn your team around a lot quicker. I don't think they will. I
just
don't
make
know.
Tebow the head coach at this point.
It sucks because they're wasting some of his prime years right now while he's young and able to. It sucks. It sucks.
We should really start judging this team around like week 9, honestly, because they're so young. Like they're so young. Yeah, they're not good. No, for sure.
Too.
Oh
Like,
yeah, no.
Josh-
Well,
They have a nice
Allen's a superstar edge rusher.
Mhm.
He's
They
a
have
monster.
They have an okay.
CJ Henderson, a young
Yeah, and Miles Jack
secondary.
isn't bad. It's just the offense is nothing.
Yep.
Really. So
Yeah.
let's shift gears to a team who used to be wandering around in the football wasteland and doing nothing and having no hope. And that was the Cleveland Browns. And they beat up on a team who's wandering in the football wasteland with no hope in the Houston Texans, who, much like some other teams, lost their quarterback this week. Tyrod Taylor went down. He's not playing this week. So Davis Mills is QB1. So that's going to be a brutal Thursday night football game between them and the Panthers. But Baker also got banged up, but he came back and they held off the Texans to win 31-21.
Yeah.
I mean, Tyrod kept him in it for a little bit. I feel bad for the guy. He
can't catch a break.
That's his long
Can't catch a
punctured
break.
this. Like he just, yeah. Texans are surprising a couple people. I mean, they kept it somewhat
Competitive.
close. Yeah. I mean, they won last week. This week they kept it with 10 points. Not bad. The running back room's kind of nice down there. And then that's about it.
The
Yeah,
old
crowded
geezers
running back
in
room.
the backfield.
the what?
The old geezers.
Yeah,
they
it's
are.
crowded.
David Johnson.
Lindsey,
Is it
Mark
Mark
Ingram.
Lindsey's like 26.
He just seems old.
But yeah,
he fell off.
props to the Texans for keeping it competitive. But Browns are again here a good team. It's like the last game we said that beat a bad team, plain and simple like that. Like you said with Baker though too. He
That
came
definitely
back
scared
in.
the hell out of the Browns fans. So,
Yeah, but Jarvis is out for a couple weeks. I saw.
it was an MCL.
I think
sprain.
they threw him on IR though. So
But I
that's
think
what.
there's also the short term IR, which is
Yeah,
3 weeks, and
3
then there's
weeks,
long
right,
term,
yeah.
which is 6 or 8,
Yeah.
something like
8.
that. So it's not,
and we don't know
awful.
Odell's status yet either because Odell still hasn't
Yeah, so
played
they're
a
going
snap
into
yet.
this week with out their 2 receivers. So it'll be interesting to see if they do, more Harrison Bryant and Austin Hooper. So yeah, or just pound the rock more with the Chubb and hunt
The
backfield.
Chubb.
Austin loves pounding the Chubb.
Thank you.
Yeah, the Browns just controlled. Once Tyrod went down, they just took control of this game and
Well, you
just
had Davis Mills,
ran.
who's a 4th round pick out of Stanford,
horrible.
who had no idea what the hell was going on, and said, "Go play against Myles Garrett and Javion Clowney and one of the better defenses in the NFL. Have fun."
He actually didn't play that bad too either. Like
Got a
Yeah,
touchdown,
I mean,
right?
he didn't play great, but
this
he played
week,
okay.
This week will be a good week for him. I mean, it'll be something. Obviously, you don't know what happens with Watson, but 4th round pick is pretty high
starter.
up there. So
Some
they
guys
could
thought
see what they
Davis
have in
Mills
them.
was like the best quarterback out of the next group of guys. Like
That's
Is that
gonna
what
in
you
be-
the
had on your
in the
that's gonna be
Kellen
Ian
Mond,
Book.
the Trask Book. Yeah,
I'm telling you,
Um,
when Book gets the opportunity, don't be
Sam
surprised.
Ellinger.
He might.
Sam Ellinger?
Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see how this goes. I mean, like we said, this was just a good team beating up a bad team. The Texans are going to be a little bit better just because they just have depth at every position because they signed a bunch of backups.
Because they had
So
to, because they couldn't
they-
draft any.
They just kept signing people to 3-4 year little deals. They have guys all over. These are all legit NFL players. If they go up against some young teams, they'll probably get like 3 or 4 wins. I don't think they're going to be the worst team in the NFL, especially
that's Jets, Lions, Jaguar
yeah.
territory.
I think
if
the Jets are.
the Jets are really bad.
They're
But
in
if,
the bad category. The Jags, Jets, and Lions are in just no hope territory.
wow, I don't think the Lions are actually that bad,
I
but
don't
we'll
think they're
talk
that
about
bad
that
either.
later.
Yeah.
But
We'll
yeah,
talk.
I mean, the Browns can just control the clock. Like that's the thing. They have the 2 best running backfield that maybe ever. I don't know.
It very well could be. So let's switch gears to a team and a game where they don't really care about controlling the clock, and that's the LA Rams because they can just push the ball downfield at a whim. Cooper Kupp turned into the second coming of Jerry Rice and Randy Moss combined, and Matt Stafford went into Indianapolis, walked out with a win, and I said it on the preview pod, and it happened. Aaron Donald was going to go out there and kill Carson Wentz, basically did. So obviously this was the game I was at and watching. Really? Yeah.
No way.
No shit.
Oh my God. Wait, Justin, you went to this?
Like in
Dude,
person.
I thought you went to a Pacers game.
Yeah. Bankers Life
I
Field.
thought you went to the convention that was there, like the nerd
Gen Con. Yeah. Board Game Con, whatever it was. No, just watching this game. One thing, Carson Wentz has a death wish. He plays reckless football on the field, but he's earned my respect because he will do anything to win. When the Colts, went out there, got stuff at the goal line, went down the field again, threw a pick at the goal line. They very well could have rolled over and died. At least for his health, I would have, prefer
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
damn, that's going on Wentz's mantle right there. Right next to the Super Bowl ring is going to be earn Justin Valentovich respect for throwing picks and taking hits.
No, but the pressure when Donald got there and killed him came off the right side, which obviously is the weaker side with Julian Davenport and Mark Glowinski. So take with a grain of salt, at least then Fisher in his first start for the Colts, and with Quentin Nelson coming off a foot injury, they played well. So at least Aaron Donald didn't blow through that side. So at least that gives me hope for once when Braden comes back. Don't know that timetable. At least the line then should be relatively stable for whoever the hell is playing quarterback. And that comes to Jacob Eason, where he went in there, had to go win it in a 2-minute drill. And as exactly what you thought was going to happen, happened. He threw a pick to Jalen Ramsey, sealed the game. So he goes into Tennessee next week, hopefully with a full week of preparation. He looks what he did in the preseason, which is hopefully a little bit better. But yeah, the Colts defense, they need to learn how to cover in space, because when the Rams spread it out and ran 5 wide, they were just getting 10 yards at a clip and picking apart the defense. No problem.
They need help.
You know what sucks?
This game?
Carson Wentz is the team. And I didn't think I'd say that coming into the season.
No.
The rest of the team is either like asleep, dead, or like paralyzed.
That's the thing. He never gave it. He never gave up.
Carson's playing insane football right now. Insane football. The rest of the team is lackluster, to say a nice
Andrew Luck 2 points.
Hey, Michael Pittman's playing good.
Pittman played nice.
Yeah,
he had the best game of his
game.
career.
Yeah.
The running backs aren't doing anything too special.
Taylor
the receivers besides Pittman. Yeah, he did. Pittman, like you said, had a good game. The defense is horrendous.
They need to get corners now.
Like it's bad. It's just Carson, and Carson, as we alluded to, got destroyed by Donald, sprained both of his ankles. We don't know how long he's out or whatever.
That because my seats were upper deck about the 30-yard line. That happened like right in front of me, and when like everyone got off the field, he just kind of laid there for a few seconds. I was like, oh no.
Yeah, no, sprained both of his ankles. It's I mean, Colts keep their first round pick. That's fantastic.
Because you got to assume if Eason sucks and if Wentz is out for 5 to 6 weeks, they don't make the playoffs and he doesn't play 75% of the snaps. So
what is this timetable you're throwing at me? The Carson Wentz is like, yeah, I'm gonna test it out tomorrow, see how I feel. And just like he's out 5 to 6 weeks.
Well, if you sprained both ankles and just had surgery on one,
it sounds bad, but we don't know the extent of it.
Well, I give him credit though, when he was out there,
to play hurt.
Well, that's the thing.
Like it's his game.
He's a tough dude. But...
Well, he was evading he evaded a lot of pressure. Like he can move really well, because I didn't watch that much Carson Wentz football when he was in Philadelphia, because I just wasn't.
Guys, it's the same person. I trust me. I watched Philadelphia Carson Wentz. He will put the whole team on his back, and he'll try to do as much as he possibly can. Here's the thing: we've seen this story before in Indianapolis with Andrew Luck, and it's the same result now. It's
Wentz is going to retire in a year now.
Well, here's the thing I think too that separates Wentz from Luck is Wentz will try to do so much that he will actively hurt the team because he tries to do too much for others that he's always played with not so good receiving cores. And don't get me wrong, I like Pittman. I couldn't care less about another single receiver on the Colts. Nope. You guys are all the rest of them bums. T.Y. Hilton, washed. I'm so tired of hearing about Pascal, and if he can stay healthy, go out and
sign him.
So many wide receivers.
They got Megatron though.
Megatron, baby.
Dude, 3rd and 4th round, just bucket loads of receivers there. And Chris Ballard's like, I got to get my 4th D tackle, man. Yeah. I got to get a guy that's never gonna play.
Other side of the ball, Matt Stafford, baby. What a
awesome.
Oh God.
Not even the first 2 weeks.
Every time he completed it past to Cup, fuck it. Why we let him fall to Jesse every single time, all 9 times,
every time. Well, and here's the crazy thing about the Rams offense too right now. Literally, only Cup is doing good.
Yes.
Robert Woods, non-existent. Literally he's been like a top 15
doesn't even catch a pass.
Been not doing anything.
Woods, I think, caught like 4
only on
passes.
3rd and 1 they use him.
And Henderson's doing okay, but imagine if they had
Cam
Akers too. Imagine if they still had Cam Akers. Imagine this offense.
They didn't use Tutu Atwell. I don't think even played a snap there. High overall He was like, I think the first player they took. He's a burner. He's like a Kadarius Toney's type, but they're literally
negative receiving yards.
Their offense right now is awesome. Matthew Stafford and Cooper,
but it's working.
It works.
And it works. It's just working so good.
Because Kupp, watching him live, right? This jackass finds every way possible.
Yeah,
he's like, dude. He's like nice. Julian.
He finds Julian every hole possible to just sit in the middle of two zones and catch a pass. And he is actually really good after the catch and will just outrun people.
Justin didn't think he was good after the catch because he was white.
Probably.
But no, I mean, yeah, Kupp and Stafford's chemistry too is really good. Apparently, he gets in there they go in.
Maybe it's not Sean McVay that works in LA. Maybe it's Cooper Kupp.
All right, dude.
When Kupp did get hurt, that's when he did go on that huge slide. No, I think this Rams team is going to be so good by like
they're going to be fun.
Oh yeah, they're going to be so good.
They're most likely going to the Super Bowl too.
That's why I put $50 on them, baby. Get $5 per win.
So real quick before we take a break, let's get through one more game, and we'll talk about Jesse's team to close out this half of the podcast. The Raiders went into Pittsburgh.
I don't want to talk about this game.
I said they were going to win. They went and did it. 26-17.
I'm shocked.
The immaculate reception revenge game.
The Raiders
immaculate reception revenge.
The Raiders, man. Hey,
the Raiders happened in the 70s. Before we were conceived.
Is anyone going to start jumping on the Derek Carr MVP badge?
Oh, I'm on it.
Stop. If he is, he's breaking his leg.
Hey,
stop.
We do play him this year again.
He's one of three quarterbacks I have for MVP. It's him, it's Brady, and I throw Kyler Murray in there too. Like those are like your top three candidates right now for MVP if we're ending the season right now.
It's week 2.
Hey, I'm just saying.
Would you not want him on your team? He's playing good.
I think Derek Carr
it's the best he's been since he snapped his leg on Christmas Eve against the Colts.
Defense too. I'm slowly jumping on this Derek Carr bandwagon.
Oh God, we play
this good Steelers defense too.
This is. I mean, he's playing great. I'm not going to lie, but how many years have the Raiders started off 3-1, 4-2, 5-2, and
they beat the Chiefs last year, and everybody crowned them.
Wasn't that like their last win?
Like 500.
Yeah.
Well, they could have had another win against the Jets.
But even then, Derek Carr
no, they did win the Jets.
They beat them with the Jets. Yeah, Jets tried to lose.
But Derek Carr is pushing the ball back downfield. They're actually letting Henry Ruggs use his best tool, which is his speed, to just run downfield. So I like that that Gruden's at least letting Carr air it out, and it's working.
I agree.
It looks cool. I mean, Steelers defense, usually pretty good, but here, not the best game from them. I know Minka got burned on one play. I saw
TJ got hurt.
TJ got a groin injury.
TJ didn't play the whole fourth, I don't think.
And Ben did not look good, if you ask me.
Who's surprised?
Jesse loves Big Ben.
He looks like
waiting for that extension.
90-year-old grandpa moving around. Like, just it doesn't look too good.
Like my grandfather, and they're dead.
Stop. Why?
Oh my God. Yeah, I don't know how many times I have to say it. Like,
when do we see Haskins? That's all I want to know. When do we see Haskins?
When do we see Mason Rudolph?
Unless Ben gets hurt, you're not going to. Which he's going to. He already like separated his pec or something. Like, dude, just hang it up. I'm so sick of it.
You got a really cool Najee Harris stiff arm out of this game, though. That was
Najee. Najee Harris is a dog. Deontay Johnson might have gotten severely hurt on a play that actually didn't matter at the end of the game. That's tough.
That's horrible.
Juju was probably the only player that played good on offense.
Claypool did all right.
Claypool did okay, but
I like Claypool. He's cool.
Claypool will be a lot better once we get a quarterback that's not Ben.
And Ebron's not getting first team reps, I see. Is that right?
Ebron sucks.
We're Fryer.
Wow.
Sure. They like Fryer a lot.
Good. Luck matey.
The line's a little bit better than it was last year. They need the defense to literally hold everybody to under 20 points. Yep. You can't do that every single week. It's not going to happen. And the Raiders offense is good. And how many points did they put up? Not even 28, not 30. Nope. And the defense kept them that close until the end. Ruggs had that burner touchdown.
26.
Yeah, 20. Yeah. And
Jesse was just picking his narrative right there.
Well, they didn't
score
the facts 4 touchdowns.
You didn't score 3. What's your point?
I'm just saying, Justin, my point is that the offense is bad and that the defense is good. So yes,
we can't even talk about his team. We're 0-2 right now, too.
You're right.
Dude, we beat the Bills. Like, what? You don't even have a win.
I know. Dude, I'm defending you, and I'm the fan of the same team as him.
No. I hear you. Ben's bad. Like, that's the takeaway. I don't know what else to say. I've been saying this for literally over a year and a half. I hate Ben Roethlisberger. I want him to retire. It's time. I don't care if you stopped chugging beers in the offseason. You're 38 years old, dude. I don't care that you hired a nutritionist. Oh, that's great. You don't have freaking tackles. You're gonna get hurt. And you did. Just hang it up, dude. Just hang it up, please. We all are begging
One
you.
more year.
And any Steelers fan that is still holding on to Ben and is like, oh, well, look at this deep throw by Ben. He still has an arm. You're delusional. You have Stockholm syndrome. What has he done to you? What has this organization done to you?
Yeah, fight the power.
I hope this guy signs a 2-year extension.
God, I'd love it.
I hope.
Fully guaranteed.
If Ben signs an extension, I'm filing a report to officially change my team until Ben leaves. I can't do it. I don't know if I can
be a
do
Ravens, 49ers, Giants fan if you want.
No, I'll probably I jump
gotta be a Lions fan.
I jump on the Rams
he's
fan
in Michigan
until Stafford was done.
Yeah, that'd be kind of fun actually.
I'd jump on that until he's done and then probably go back to Pittsburgh.
Well, that wraps up this half of the podcast. When we come back, we'll finish the 1 o'clock window, the rest of the Sunday games, and wrap up the week of the NFL season for week 2. So we'll be right back. All right, and we're back for the second half of the week 2 recap here on the Sports Department podcast. So let's just jump right back into it with a game that we all thought was going to happen, and that's the Patriots taking on the Jets. The weekly ass-kicking contest basically between these teams. Mac Jones did just enough to win, didn't lose the game for the Patriots, and Zach Wilson had the worst career game so far, even though it's only his second game. Obviously, no shit. He had 4 interceptions, so hopefully this is his floor, and it really can't get worse than this unless you're Nate Peterman.
He sucked. Plain and simple. Zach Wilson sucked. I almost picked the Jets to win this game too in our podcast. I was like, I like what I saw out of Wilson in week 1. But no, Wilson did not look good. Again, the same with like Burrow, just decision making was horrible. And the whole thing with Bill Belichick against rookie quarterbacks came into full sight right there. He destroyed Zach Wilson, and defense didn't look too hot. Offensive line, offense, none of the receivers. I mean, no one looked good at all. And the Patriots, Patriots looked good. I thought the Patriots looked solid here. I want to see them against a good team. They lost to the Dolphins, which is kind of like the equivalent to them. And then the Jets, is a bad team. I want to see them against a good team, but solid outing.
Yeah, I mean, 2 of those interceptions weren't his fault. I'll give him that.
And one literally bounced through Corey Davis's hands.
Yeah. It's a tough game. I mean, against the Patriots, like we said.
It's like, what do you expect, basically? But it's like this was in MetLife, so I don't want to see.
Foxborough?
Yeah.
That's
what Bob left at halftime. I know that.
Not a true fan.
Hey man,
wow, what a shame.
Beat the traffic.
It's bad. What this offensive line is garbage. Horrible. Like it's horrible.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think we still all collectively agree that this is a way better offense than they ever gave Darnold too, which is still insane.
Yeah. Which we'll talk about Darnold coming up next because he actually has help. But it was a bad game, and but it's also like they're like, oh, Bill Belichick always takes away your number one weapon, but like, did they really take away Corey Davis too much? It's like they were just beating the hell out of Wilson.
Michael Carter and Elijah Moore did look pretty good in this game, though.
Carter which could be good, a good sign. Yeah.
So that's always nice to see.
Yeah, nothing much else about this game. Just it was a ass kicking, basically. So let's talk about the former Jets quarterback in Carolina, Sam Darnold. The Sam Darnold resurgence bandwagon is alive and well. he's getting some help, a lot of help actually, with his former teammate Robbie Anderson, and obviously the big name being DJ Moore on the offense and Christian McCaffrey, of course.
The big name, of course, being DJ Moore.
But Panthers went out there. Sam Darnold had a really good game. Again, they went out there, beat the Saints 26-7, but also big props to the Panthers defense, having the Saints basically have the worst game in the Sean Payton era, only 126, I think, total yards of offense, which is the lowest since like 2001 for them, which predates him. So the young defense that they're slowly building up, it's starting to show up a little bit. Brian Burns, Derek Brown, J.C. Horn, they have pieces. So it's slowly coming together, but I definitely like what Sam Darnold is doing there now. Like, he's actually a good quarterback again. I don't think he'll be, great, but he'll have a good career if it stays like this trajectory now with Joe Brady and Matt Rule.
Clark, are you thinking what I'm thinking? Justin just talked about the Panthers a lot for a guy who picked the Saints, considering there was two people here that picked the Panthers.
Who did Steve pick?
Who was that?
I think the Saints probably.
When the Saints
sorry, you can't get
come
on
marching in, baby. They lost to the. I love it. I love Sam Darnold. I said this when Sam Darnold left the Jets. If they put stuff around him, they gave him an O-line. I mean, you can't give him, a generational running back that just, happens to be there.
You just step in that though, basically.
Yeah, you can't sign Zeke every time.
It helps. But man, you build this up.
I knew you'd like that.
You build this up around Sam Darnold.
Yeah, but you give him
to be
any
decent,
form of
man.
talent,
that.
and he's better. And the one talent they had, they let him walk to this team.
And then that's why he went to that team.
Yeah, I mean, and like you said, I like what they're doing with the defense too. I agree with you, Justin. I like the pieces. Chin too. Your second year, Jeremy Chin.
Dante Jackson. They have some speed on defense, which you need in the NFL. And Shaq Thompson is pretty good.
There you go.
Yeah,
it sucks that Luke Kuechly's not there anymore, but
yeah, but I think it just would have been weird because that is very old guardish,
Yeah. And on the other side of the ball, the Saints, didn't look hot.
Winston looked bad.
Like Jameis.
I think the Saints are gonna be what the Bucs were with Jameis. They're gonna be up and they're gonna be down.
I agree.
That's the Jameis roller coaster that you ride. The Saints defense is still pretty solid. They're still okay. They're gonna win them enough games. I like this Panthers team. I said it on the recap last week that I really like this Panthers team. I liked them in the offseason. I love Darnold coming out of UFC. Everything I think in New York was
bad.
Not his fault. It's not his fault.
It was such a wash. I love this young defense too. I think they're going to continue to get better. Obviously not statistic wise, because right now they're far and ahead, the number one defense in the NFL.
Yeah. They'll come down to earth eventually.
They'll come down to earth, but they're still good. They'll still be good. I like this Panthers team, honestly, to be the second team in the South. I said it. I like them. I like them a lot.
Me too. And my just last question with this game, was where was Alvin Kamara this entire game?
They
shut him down.
I was gonna say it felt like after about the second quarter they were kind of done and kind of already moved on with the game.
That's crazy. That's ridiculous. That he's your best player on that.
I think
that's ridiculous.
I think it's to a degree that it's like, well, if Jameis is not going to be on, you might as well save the touches for Kamara because you're not going to win a game where Jameis is just chucking up interceptions.
Yeah. His infamous 30-30 season and not the good kind.
30 for 30.
So switching gears, let's talk about the Niners and the Eagles. Eagles just fall short, losing 17-11. Hurts played all right. Had a few highlights I saw. I didn't really watch this game too much, so I was at another game.
I saw a decent amount of this game.
Not a good excuse.
It was ugly.
Thanks.
There's really not much to say. The one note, Hurts threw a dot of a touchdown.
It was like 90-something yards, I think. Not in the air, but
not the touchdown. But yes, but he had one like a 45-yard strike, but the 49ers corner pushed the Eagles receiver out of bounds. So when he came back inbounds,
illegal.
They called it illegal, but he was literally pushed. But they originally called it in any other era before the touchdowns are automatically reviewed. It would have been a touchdown. The 49ers, Jimmy G was great on third down. That's my biggest takeaway. He looked good on third down. They would get to 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5 a lot, especially on the last drive. I think in the fourth quarter, they went on like a 9-minute drive that just killed the Eagles. Hurts is good. Besides everything that Philly has said, Hurts is good.
Crazy.
This was an ugly game. They were even only in it this close because of him.
These teams just confuse me. I don't know what to think about these teams. Like, I don't know if the Eagles are good or bad. I don't know if the Niners are good or not. I mean, they almost.
The Niners are currently 4-point favorites over the Packers this upcoming.
See,
as of right now,
I don't understand it. I mean, the Niners almost blew a lead to the Lions last week. Sure, we got to give the Lions a little more credit. We'll get to that. Mm-hmm. And they were losing a good chunk of this game. You know, they were losing.
A lot of people thought they were going to lose this game.
Yeah,
they were down.
They were down for 3 quarters, and I was like, "Who's good? Who's not good in this matchup?" I'm just confused in general. But the running back room in San Francisco is not too good right now because Eli Mitchell is up, and I think Jermichael Hasty is hurt too.
Yep.
So I think they're bringing in someone too. I forgot who. But
I don't even know who's out there to bring in.
It's some old bum. I don't remember the name. It might come to me.
But who's available?
Maybe they can sign Le'Veon off the practice squad from Baltimore.
That's so funny. Practice squad stealing. No.
Gurley should get a call.
Yeah.
I mean, why not?
You're right. That's probably the best name available.
But yeah. Man, I this game is a big question mark for me. I got to see more of both of these teams before.
You got any tidbits on this game?
I mean, Hurts. I think Hurts is the right man for the job. I think he's very good. The Niners, on the other hand, a little scary that they weren't able to take care of the Eagles so easily. That's just a testament to the Eagles being kind of underrated. And Brandon Ayuk, nowhere to be found.
He had that one catch on third down
again, right? Wasn't he quite like one too?
He played a couple
weeks in a row.
Yeah,
they don't like his. I think they don't like his the I don't know, the work ethic he had in camp or something. They're not giving him snaps. They don't think he's like working hard enough, I guess.
That's a wolf.
Interesting. So switch gears to a team that has plenty of weapons and they know how to use them. That is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers putting up a 48-point game on the Atlanta Falcons.
Family.
This game was
phenomenal.
It
was fantastic.
Bill Belichick, Arthur Smith is off to a rough start with the Falcons as Jesse, proclaimed him as the next big thing.
Why would I call him the next Bill Belichick if he's an offensive mind, Justin?
Hey, man.
That doesn't even make sense.
You were ready to
just show me the tape.
I'll find it. No, I'm not gonna look for it, but
it's like a bet.
Yeah.
Let me talk about my boy a little bit.
Okay.
MVP candidate right now. Can't deny
Ryan.
Yeah, okay. No, my God. This is what we would have gotten with the Buccaneers last year early if they would have had a training camp, if they would have had a preseason. This is exactly what we would have gotten early instead of all the doubters coming out saying Brady doesn't have it anymore. Instead of them winning 8 straight games to close out the season, instead, they have that chemistry now. Gronk's in football shape again. Gronk is top tight end in the league again out of nowhere. And I mean, Tom Brady is I know he doesn't have to do much, but he throws those touchdowns. 5 touchdowns is insane for anybody. It doesn't matter if you have Calvin Johnson, Randy Moss, and Jerry Rice as your receivers. 5 touchdowns is impressive as hell, especially at 44 years old. They look unbeatable right now. They literally just look unbeatable. Defense is young and great.
Yeah. Tom Brady has 9 touchdowns through 2 games, and
MVP
he's
candidate
44.
right now. Through 2 weeks, MVP candidate up there with Murray and Derek Carr. Like I said, they look unbeatable. That's the one word I had to use: unbeatable.
Yeah, they look great. On the flip side, Atlanta. I mean, I think this is clear that Matt Ryan's got to go. It's getting embarrassing at this point.
He's old.
Yeah, they got to scrap that and try to rebuild the offensive line because other than Jake Matthews, to an extent, that is a bad offensive line. They have
Matthews is pushing like 30+ years old.
Yeah, he's been around for a while.
Yeah, so I don't know what they're going to do. Defense doesn't really have that many great pieces either. Pitts is good. Ridley's good. That's really all I could think about. Mike Davis is their running back. So this is a team that's going to be down the drain for a few more years, for at least a few more years. But Buccaneers looked great. Now, Clark, if Brady wins the MVP, what's the excuse of why the MVP shouldn't count or it's not a really good MVP? Not from you, but from people around.
Well, it'll depend on who the other candidate's got to be.
They're not here anymore.
What?
Nothing.
No, there's no excuse. I mean,
no, there's gonna be.
Oh yeah,
from the haters.
Of course, the haters are gonna hate. But like,
you even mentioned who couldn't win an MVP with Mike Evans and Godwin and Antonio Brown and
True. But
that's an argument.
You just looked at he's talking about Ryan. Matt Ryan's what 35, 36 years old.
He's up there, yeah.
And he's stinking right now. We're telling him to get out of Atlanta. He's done, retire, whatnot. Brady's 44. It doesn't matter. He's
not old, slowing down.
Old for that position.
The terrifying thing that
and
at
he
this
looks
point
almost better than ever. Like he might play another 5 years.
Yeah, the last time he was off to this hot of a start through 2 games was his 2007 MVP year, where he broke passing records up the wazoo, basically.
Yeah.
So
and even Mike Evans, Godwin, they're great. Are they the best receivers in the league? No, but they're fantastic. They're fantastic pieces to have. They're just all working together as.
So,
at what
point do they add Julian Edelman?
They're not going to.
I know
they already have Scotty Miller.
Basically, it's Julian Edelman, but now Brady MVP. It's looking good so far. It's only week 2, but it's looking good.
I honestly I'm thinking about really throwing a bet on it because, what's going to slow him down? Who's going to take the MVP right now besides maybe Kyle
Murray?
Yeah, but Arizona's got to probably win that division or be really, really good. You already know the Bucs are going to win that division and be really good. Falcons aren't good. Bucs are good. Bucs defense kind of worries me a little bit, not that much, but they kind of can't really stop anything.
But also, they probably figured
in the middle of the field
they could lay off.
No, just specifically the middle of the field. They can't cover. I think that I would really love they could get a veteran slot corner somewhere, trade for somebody at the trade deadline. I'd love a move for them just to get one more guy. Other than that, what Clark said, they look unbeatable right now.
So let's shift gears, similar to how, the football team eked out a win with a missed kick and then got a second chance and a blunder at the last second. The Vikings, boy, the good old Vikings. If one team is good at missing big kicks, it's the Minnesota Vikings. They did it again. Kyler Murray had a really good game again. They won 34-33. So, oh, God, Vikings should have won this game. It's as simple as that. They fucked it up at the end.
That's like 2 weeks in a row now.
Yes.
It's like 3 years in a row now.
Yeah.
3 decades in a row at this point.
3 centuries in a row.
Avar.
Cardinals are undefeated, man. Whether it's by luck or by skill. Murray's putting on a phenomenal show right there. But no, the missed kick is basically that's it. You're in a dome. It's 30-something yards. That's no excuse.
And he literally, the kicker, Joseph, made like a 52-yarder a few minutes earlier, game time wise. So he clearly has the range to do it.
They should have never treated Teddy B the way they did. That's why it's all
the curse of Kirk Cousins. It's just a gift that keeps on giving at this point. He played well this game, fine, but
solid, yeah.
The defense
still the whole game was a shootout. It was a shootout the whole game.
This is the thing about Minnesota that I've said for years. Are they a good team? Are they a bad team?
I don't know.
It matters. It just week to week. Like this week, they should have beat Arizona. Kyler Murray looks like an MVP candidate. Arizona's playing fantastic. They gave them absolutely everything they could. If Dalvin Cook could just stop getting hurt and stop fumbling, they win this game. And it's honestly so frustrating because there's weeks like this where they look good and they look like they can hang with powerhouse
and then lose.
And then they lose to Burrow.
You know what quote annoys me when people are like, oh, they found a way to win. Well, this team found a way to lose and they do it really well at finding ways to lose games.
Yeah.
They do it. I'm done with the Vikings, man. I'm done with them.
Me too.
I said it last week. I'm over. And they're gonna have weeks this year where they look really good, and they're gonna have stretches where they look really good, and they're gonna have stretches where they look bad. And I'm not touching the bandwagon. They're a very super inconsistent team who has Kirk Cousins as their quarterback. That is my line for the Vikings for the rest of the year.
And they've hitched their wagon for a while because they had to extend him because just to get the money off the books per year, they had to extend him. So they're stuck with him. And really, other than a total teardown, just a coaching change, which I think is inevitable at this point, poor Mike Zimmer, They need more than just that.
Well, and who are they even going to go to? Kellen Mond? He couldn't even beat out Sean Mannion for the second position. And I liked Kellen Mond coming out, but I mean, what else are they going to do?
They're wasting a lot of good careers right now. Is really what it is.
Thielen's on probably his last year or two of being actually really productive. And obviously Jefferson's going to be good for a while. Cook, you never know how healthy he's
that's the running back shelf life potentially catching up to him already. Best move Diggs ever made was getting the hell out of there.
And I think Danielle Hunter is going to ask to be out. I think he already did this offseason and he didn't.
Or Harrison Smith. He signed an extension. Poor guy.
I think he likes it there.
No, I think so too.
Nobody talks about him.
Yeah.
I think he prefers it that way.
Yeah, his defense is not the same, but if they thought Cousins was the guy and he wasn't. So you got to see where they go from here.
He's been the guy and he hasn't been the guy all at the same time. But like Jesse said, that's kind of the Vikings MO where it's like, oh, they're good, they're bad, they're good, they're bad. What the hell is this team? They can never do anything consistently, but lose in dramatic fashions. So let's shift gears. We're on to last game kicking again, and the Cowboys in overtime went into SoFi Stadium and eked out a win with Greg the Leg, who had a horrible week one. He redeemed himself, sinking a 56-yard field goal for the win.
How about them Cowboys, baby?
2 touchdowns taken back from penalties from the Chargers in this game. Also an interception from the Chargers in the red zone taken back from a penalty. So Justin, make sure you say, you were very happy to say Washington got very lucky winning. So make sure you say the Cowboys did as well.
Not. I'm going to say the same thing too. The Cowboys didn't. Well, I mean, they won it on that. That was an impressive field goal. But
it was. I'm surprised.
The Chargers didn't lose it as much as the Giants lost. But the Chargers did lose. But they lost this game. Like the Cowboys, Dak's playing decent, pretty well through the first 2 weeks.
Zeke sucks though.
He's
bad.
He's washed. I knew.
Like they gotta just give it to Tony Pollard more. Like I get they want to use Zeke contractually, and financially they're tied to Zeke and should be getting productive games out of him, but they can't force feed it to him. It's clear that Tony Pollard is younger, fresher, and a better running back at their this current stage right now.
Maybe they're saving Pollard for the end of the year.
You mean Zeke?
No, Pollard.
Oh.
That's why he doesn't start. Everybody keeps saying start Pollard. Maybe they're saving Pollard. Honestly,
what is the last high selected running back that worked out? I mean, McCaffrey's really the only one.
High. Yeah, I was gonna say
top 10.
Top 10. Ooh, you got to go back.
Well, I mean, Fournette didn't work out.
Fournette to an extent did, but then the Jags just decided to blow it sky high. But he also hasn't really had to do much in Tampa Bay. Saquon, good rookie year, but the injuries have derailed him.
Yeah. It's like Adrian Peterson. Almost.
Trent Richardson. Adrian Peterson's probably it. Yeah.
Yeah, it might be Adrian Peterson, honestly. It
was the best running back of our generation.
15 years ago when he got drafted about?
Roughly.
07.
I don't know, but
14.
I mean it.
14.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'll tell you what, Herbert looks crisp. He looks good. A few tough decisions this week he made, but he's the real deal. And my only question is, why wasn't he considered a higher prospect coming into the draft?
Oregon.
Yes. That's
Oregon,
literally what it is. Forgotten.
And why didn't he start over Tyrod Taylor to start the season?
He was Chargers made a Bears promise. Tyrod was their guy.
Everybody
thought Herbert needed more time because Oregon made him throw bubble screens and drag routes and slants when he should be throwing posts and corners. They told him to throw 2 yards when he can throw 15. I think Herbert's already a top 6 quarterback. Honestly, he's so good. It's ridiculous.
Stick with him for my MVP prediction from the beginning of the season. But
yeah, I think an underrated aspect too. The Chargers defense is really good. I mean, the Cowboys needed overtime to beat them, and they only put up 20 points.
It's nice to see Derwin
pretty good
back.
I mean,
healthy
Derwin played very
good.
well.
Yep.
Very well. Yeah, man.
This was a tight game. The Chargers kept kind of shooting themselves in the foot over and over again. Herbert was spectacular, but he can't do everything.
He can only do so much. Yeah.
Yeah. That's my big takeaway here. The defense helped him. The defense helped him a lot, but the officiating, all that, he was still great on third down. It just didn't matter as much. Yeah, I mean, the Cowboys are going to win games. Like, they have a good enough. They have a good team. They can kind of win in either way. They can grind out some wins. The defense has been a lot better this year than it was last year, even with DeMarcus Lawrence getting hurt. I think projection wise, like, they're just going to be a lot better this year defensively. They look better.
Yes, they do. We all there? Yeah, we are. Cool.
I'm here.
No, I don't know. Evan just stopped talking for a second. I wasn't looking at the screen. So
let me guess. We're going to switch gears.
Yeah. Switch things up a little bit. Change games. Let's go to the Titans and the Seahawks. And, Titans got screwed a little bit with some terrible penalties because refs suck in the NFL. But also the Seahawks. Russell Wilson almost lost the game on a safety, which would have been brutal. But the Titans walked away with a win. So, good on them. Good bounce back win.
Tennessee Derrick Henry's walked away.
Yeah, that's the biggest takeaway.
With a win.
He got his crown back.
After a slow week one. I mean, he just proved everyone wrong. Like, hey, I'm still here. Julio showed up, so that was fun. I got to see Julio in Tennessee actually do something. He didn't do anything week one, so that was fun.
Do something week 3.
Yeah, we'll get to those predictions later in the week. I mean, Tennessee looked good. They looked, as they usually do. They beat a really good team in Seattle too, so that's a really, really big plus too. These are two good teams. These are two teams that are more than likely going to make the playoffs. Two solid teams here. I enjoyed watching this. I thought it was a fun game. Seattle was winning majority of the time. A great comeback from Tennessee to come back and win. And on the other side of the ball, Lockett's just having also underrated season right now. I feel like he's not getting talked about enough, just how dominant he's being.
Because everybody loves talking about DK, even though Lockett's the better receiver.
Yeah,
that is true.
He's just fast and tall.
He's a physical freak, but Tyler Lockett does a lot of the dirty work to pull the double coverage to help DK get open.
There you go.
Yeah, and still ends up with more yards than him. Like Clark said, this was two good teams just playing against each other. Seahawks kind of, biffed it down at the end. They probably really should have put this away. If there's a team that's gonna suffer from kicking, that's not the Vikings. It's gonna be the Seahawks. So the mixed extra point screws them over. They lose. I don't really have any big takeaways from this. These were just two good teams.
Just Derrick Henry. That's it.
Yeah,
Derrick Henry.
We see him flip the switch when he wants to, and he can just absolutely explode. And that's what he did. And he ran over the Seahawks.
It's the formula. He had the first half, he didn't look great. They ran him like 12 times. Finishes the game, he has 30 plus carries. You can't, if you keep throwing Derrick Henry out there, eventually people don't want to tackle him.
Yeah, they just get tired, and that's when he's stronger and can just run a bitch over.
There you go.
Yeah.
So let's finish things off for Sunday slate of games with one of the best games of the week, if not the game of the week. That is the Baltimore Ravens hosting the Kansas City Chiefs. And the Ravens, for right now, exercise some demons. Unlike the Browns, they got over the hump and they were able to eke out a win to the Chiefs, holding on to a narrow 1-point lead.
Finally, Lamar beat Mahomes. It's about time. We've been waiting for this. I mean, Lamar, like I said, he proved a lot of the haters wrong in this game. He literally put the Ravens on his back and just came back against the Chiefs. Did not look good in the first half. Those picks to Tyrann Mathieu did not look good. And I'm part of the like the banter against him. I do think he's a better runner than he is a quarterback. Some of his throws sometimes are bad like that. But he did put up 240 yards throwing, another 100 yards rushing. He literally put the Ravens on his back. Chiefs looked great too. I mean, they didn't show up in the fourth quarter, but Chiefs looked fine. I'm not worried about them losing a week 2 game to another good football team in the Ravens. And good for the Ravens, good for Lamar Jackson.
Both defenses looked bad.
That too.
But like you said, Clark, Lamar gets the win. Mahomes throws his first interception in September, and it gets his first loss.
And his first loss in September too.
Just crazy. On that last drive, though, I mean, the Chiefs went like 30 yards in 2 plays. So the Ravens got very lucky.
They had it.
That Clyde Edwards did fumble. Again, Clyde Edwards isn't great, but that's the time you take a running back when your whole team is set and you can use one more running back. But again, both defenses need some help. And there's 3 things certain in life, Justin. What? Death, taxes, and a Travis Kelce touchdown.
There you go.
It's crazy at this point.
He's a walking first down at a minimum. Everything he does, he catches the ball in the middle of the field at the hashes, runs upfield, and gets you 15 yards. He's an absolute monster. And it's ridiculous. I don't know how you can stop him at this rate. He's clearly the best tight end in football at what he does. Is just
without a doubt.
Get open and get yards.
My couple notes from this game. 1, Ravens finally stopped blitzing Patrick Mahomes as much. That's good because I don't know the exact numbers at the end of the game, but midway through the 4th, the 4 times that they had blitzed Mahomes, he was 4 for 4 with 94 yards and a touchdown. So it's good that they weren't blitzing him as much. The Ravens took out Tyreek Hill. They doubled him the whole game. That's why Kelce was, I think, so impressive and why they had to spread the ball out so much. Hill was a non-factor the entire part of the game. That was big. I think it's funny looking at these 2 teams, and if I was a fan of either one, anytime the Ravens would throw the ball, I would be pissed. Anytime the Chiefs ran the ball, I would be pissed. Chiefs should throw the ball every single down. Ravens should run the ball every single down. Yeah, that's kind of what I had.
I agree.
The Chiefs should have won this game. They had it.
Yeah,
they did.
Yeah.
Anybody who's Lamar finally got his win. If that fumble
without some help.
No, I'll give it to him. But if that fumble doesn't happen,
of course,
truly, whoever was going to win, not taking anything away from the Ravens or the Chiefs here, whoever was going to win was who had the ball last. Whatever offense was on the field last was going to win.
I like the big rah-rah thing that Harbaugh did was, yelling to Lamar, you want to go for it, you want to go for it.
Yeah, it's 4th and 1.
No, I know.
You have the best running quarterback in the league.
What it does, it shows you the rest of the guys on the roster. You have faith in your quarterback, and you're willing to ride and die with them. So it's a good little rah-rah boost of emotion type thing. So before we have a few more minutes before we wrap up, the get right game for the Packers, it happened. They went in there.
They got right.
Yep. Simple as that.
Huh?
Simple as that. They got right. They beat the Lions like everyone expected. The Lions. Jared Goff looked like they might sneak away with something in the first half. Then they went out there and the Lions got a line and fell apart.
They're not the worst team in the league, the Lions. I'll tell you that.
I like TJ Hawkinson.
Goff is not the worst quarterback in the league by far.
No, Goff looks like he has a nice little safety blanket with TJ Hawkinson. So at least there's someone he can throw the ball to.
Fine. It's all he got. That's literally all he has.
That's all he's got. Do you guys know who his number 1 receiver is now that Tyrell Williams is out? Quintez Cephas. And then Khalif Raymond as well. Is up
about Equinemius St. Brown or Amon-Ra St. Brown?
Amon-Ra St. Brown, yeah. I think he was. I don't think he played that much this week. Yeah, they're their 3rd best receiver is probably Jamal Williams, and he's their backup running back.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not that bad though. They play tough. Goff looks fine. Goff's gonna have a solid year.
He'll keep them in games.
I honestly don't know if Detroit should move off Goff. There's not a quarterback in this draft I think that's probably better.
Well, that's Goff. The thing. It's always they say, "Oh, move on." Who are you replacing him with?
Who are you replacing him with? That's an NFL quarterback right there. That's a starting NFL quarterback that Detroit has. That I'm sure a team like Washington would really love to have. I'm sure, there's teams around the league right now. Houston, obviously. There are teams out there that after would rather have moving Goff.
Off of your franchise's best quarterback, it's not the worst landing spot to have Goff under center because it could have been a whole hell of a lot worse.
Yeah.
But they couldn't quite get a win.
The Lions' offensive line is really good. It's going to be really good for years to come. Too,
and it's clear that Sewell
getting better.
It's clear though that Sewell is better at left tackle than right tackle. So when Decker does come back, it's got to be how are they going to handle that one? Are they going to flip him? Because Sewell he struggles at right tackle, which makes sense considering he played left tackle
in
college. But that wraps up week 2 of the NFL season. We'll have picks later in the week. We'll probably do something for Dynamite. I have a pack opening coming out a little later sometime this week.
Yeah,
some Tops Fire with Pete Alonso on the cover. I did not pull Pete Alonso.
Home run derby champ.
It was this box. Actually, I got 2 of them. So
sneak peek. Do you have anything good?
I got a Kelnick card. So he sucks, but if he's good, hopefully. But when those come out, Clark, where can everyone listen and watch those?
You guys know YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Subscribe on those. Follow us on our social medias on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Sports Depth Pod. That's Sports DEPT Pod. Justin gave you the preview for the week. Lots of wrestling. Wrestling's back to the pay-per-view Sunday.
Wrestling and football season always sucks to have to bounce and manage shit.
It's hard. It's very hard, especially when pay-per-views on Sunday because of the football.
Everything else.
It's a lot. It's a lot, but we'll get through them eventually and get through all those. Like Justin said, a Dynamite too, the Grand Slam show at Arthur Ashe Stadium. We're going to be reviewing that. Baseball's coming to an end, so playoff episodes too. So stay tuned to all that fun stuff, and we'll see you in the next episode.